Hello there guys and welcome to another race here in Interkraken for round number 6 here in Mexico. So, I just set my balanced set of tire allocation, check the weather forecast, I think so, and the track is going to be dry for both sessions, so I decided to go for dry setup and lower a little bit my rear tire pressure, and also I'm going to lower the front wings as well as the rear wing in order to get better top speed in the straights, and I can have more chances to overtake a driver and not only having to deploy all of my ERS and have DRS in order to slightly have chances to make a dive bomb into turn 1. No, I don't want that thing because it may be a race without overtakes for me because my top speed will be really low. But here we are beginning our first flying lap of this race. I'm just leaving the garage. Well, I just left that garage. When I was leaving, it was the pit lane, and well, let's get prepared for our first flying lap of the session and let's get up our tires. So in my first flying lap, I was doing decently in the first 3 corners, and then heading into turn 4, I braked too early and I cut the corner. As a result, I just invalidated the lap time, which isn't good for me, and well, I decided to go for another lap right after that one because I'm seeing that I have enough lap of fuels remaining and maybe I can go for a better lap time than I was doing in my first one, but unfortunately I might not have my full potential because I have now worn out a bit my soft tires, and also my ERS isn't at full percentage. It's like at 76%, so I don't know if the ERS will be for this lap, but well, let's try to use all of our ERS and hope we can still have ERS remaining after the lap. Now heading to the first chicane, braking very decently, but unfortunately I just went a little bit deep into that corner and didn't touch the apex, but still I just gained like 200ths of a second. Now heading to turn 4, I'm just going to be braking a little bit later in order to not cut the corner. I just touched the apex a little bit, and exiting turn 5 I couldn't improve. Instead I just lost a little bit of a tenth of a second. Exiting turn 6 I was improving by 1 or 2 tenths of a second. Now exiting the SS, yours is now activated. We're improving by 3 tenths of a second, but I think it's not going to be reliable about that thing. But we are getting a great lap time heading to the stadium section. Unfortunately we ran a bit wide, not touching the apex. Now into the penultimate corner, doing this corner a little bit careful, and now the lap time is now finished with a lap time of 1:16.877, which puts us surprisingly into provisional pole. And well, I'm expecting that provisional pole position will be dropping out a few places, so I need to get more lap times with better lap times. So well, let's go to those laps now. Now on my third flying lap, heading into turn 1, I was going a little bit decent, but it'll be less grippy, and as you can see I overcooked my now really worn out soft tires, and that meant that my lap time has been already ruined because I just overcooked too much those tires. I think I just pressed the throttle too early, and that resulted in that thing you've seen into turn 2 and turn 3, but I have spun once again, but it doesn't matter because I have my lap time already ruined, so it won't matter that thing. But still, we have our lap time ruined, so let's just get into the garage and let's prepare for our final attempt to get our lap time better than the second one, and a little bit with new softs and maybe, well, why am I saying maybe? Because I may change the setup, but I'm saying that thing, and you guys may doubt if I change the setup. I don't think I have changed the setup when I was going for my final attempt of a flying lap, but well, meanwhile, let's enter the garage and well, let's get prepared for our final flying lap, and hope I can do this way better than the second one, and of course it'll be better because I have new softs, and with new softs equals more grip, so well, hope I have luck in that lap. Now beginning on my final flying lap, heading into the last corner, getting prepared to begin the final flying lap of this session. DRS is wide open. Many drivers are returning from this session after completing their lap times, and heading into turn 1 we need to brake very well in order to gain some time, and although despite not seeing improving, we have already improved by 0.2 of a second exiting turn 3. Now heading into turn 4, braking into 100-meter mark, and we're just doing really great. Exiting turn 5, we're seeing that we have improved by over 0.2 of a second, and we just set the fastest sector 1, so hope we can get into the front row, heading into pole position. But unfortunately I just got the 7th corner, and that meant that I have automatically to retire from the session because I don't have any more lap time chances to do, and well, I've just slipped up with my last chance of making a better lap time than the second one, and unfortunately I am going to qualify 8th place. Tamalo gets pole position, following by Struck and Manu God, and our teammate Berni qualifies 4th, and the aerial driver of Flores qualifies 5th, following by Jimmy in 6th, and Marco qualifies 7th, right behind me. I mean ahead of me. So Topito qualifies 9th, following by Jovan, who completes the top 10. Then Terro qualifies just outside the top 10 in 11th place. Alan in 12th, Cantu in 13th, Eddie in 14th, Inquisidor in 15th, Senais in 16th, that LLXE driver in 17th place, Rabbit in 18th, and Nicky Lauda in 19th, and Sandia qualifies last place. So I have already told the qualifying results. Let's get into the pre-race strategy. So the strategy for the race will be a hard medium strategy, a little bit odd compared to other circuits, but the game chooses us to start with hard tires. Maybe some drivers will change it and make the reverse strategy. Instead of hard medium, it will be a medium hard, just to get a better start than us, and maybe get that gamble that there might be safety car in around lap 12, 13, 14, 15, and stop for hards, and that'll make their strategy extremely well done. Meanwhile for us, well, we're just sticking us with our hard tires, but in order to get a better second half of the race with our mediums. Meanwhile, in the field we lowered down to 51 kilograms, and we have no car setup changes ever done for the race, so let's get into the formation lap. So we're just waiting for the other players to get ready to get their strategies done. Hope they have time to do it. Meanwhile, we're just waiting, as well as some of the drivers, and well, I think we have to wait 3 seconds, and the formation lap will begin really soon after that, and it'll start now. So as usual, we're just going to get that practice start, the reaction game, and we're just going to react right after Marco begins that lap. Unfortunately, we haven't done that well, and well, talking about not well, the previous race in Saudi Arabia, which we have a race to forget. Fortunately, I have controlled a little bit my steering wheel glitch, but well, I'm now mentally stable. I'm sane. I'm okay. Yeah, that race got me mentally, and I haven't recovered until like Wednesday or Tuesday, 3 days after the race. But for now, I'm pretty fine. So you don't have to worry about me, guys. So we're just heating up our tires, and well, just like we have a race to forget in Saudi Arabia, I think my teammates had also a race to forget, so it was a good day for our team, THR, so we need to repay them with a good race here in Mexico. Meanwhile, we're just heating up our tires, more aggressive than the other tires, because those are the hard tires and it's more difficult to heat up those tires. So I'll hope we can heat up until the optimum temperature. Meanwhile, we're just heating up aggressively, and we don't have to crash with other drivers because our grid slot is going to be reset if we crash into another driver. But crashing into the wall, nothing. The damage is turned off during the formation lap. Heading into the stadium section, we see that an ERL driver has spun. I think he was an ERL. Yes, it was. So, exiting the stadium section, well, the record cut, and well, we're just trying to heat up our rear tires extremely aggressively because we're seeing that our tires are at 79 degrees Celsius, now down into, up into 83 degrees after we have heat up in an aggressive way. Although it'll heat up our tires, the tire wear, we have to remember about the tire wear. And well, we're just heating up our rear tires and hope they don't cool down when that driver gets parked their grid slot. And we're seeing that one driver barely exits the last corner, and hope we can have our tires warmed up, especially the rear ones. And well, after that we are about to begin the race. We're just waiting for all drivers to park their grid slots. Now they have, so let's begin this race. The park grid lights are going to be turned on and the race is underway. We have a decent start for us. Oh my goodness me. Berni is down into P9. Meanwhile, we're into P7, about to overtake some of the drivers, I think so, but I decided to just go a little bit careful into turn 1. You know, there's going to be carnage, so I decided to go to the inside, and ooh, Topito almost crashes into us, but maybe exaggerating, but that cut me a little bit, and Topito is about to overtake me. I decided to not fight because he's my teammate, and Senna is trying to overtake us, and I decided to overtake him into turn 5, and fortunately I managed to do that thing, but into turn 6, squishing him a little bit, but unfortunately he didn't give up, so I decided to sit his place, but I didn't want to do that thing, cut the corner, and well, down into P8. That's pretty sad for us, but still, race isn't over, so we have a lot of places to get up, so let's not give up and not think that the race is over for us, because the race can be really unpredictable for us, because someone might DNF and deploy a safety car and can alter the strategy, and ooh, we almost crashed into the wall because we just had a snap of oversteer. I think we locked our rear brakes going into the outside line, and Berni has overtaken us down into P9. I didn't want to have a fight because these are my teammates and I don't want to give him fight, or else I'll be in trouble for THR. And meanwhile, while I was catching Berni, unfortunately I ran wide into turn 7 and cut the 8th corner. And meanwhile, there's yellow flags exiting the SS. We're seeing that Topito has spun, and we're now up into 8th place. That's pretty bad for our team because he's now out of the points. So this means that Topito has to to get the miracle, for example a safety car, in order to catch us and maybe get points. Meanwhile, Jimmy set to pass this lap and we're up into P8. DRS is now enabled, and well, hope we can be less than a second behind Berni in order to get DRS. Meanwhile, we're just trying to be in that pace, but we're seeing that Berni has a little bit more straight line speed than us because the gap has been increased in the main straight, and unfortunately I'm not doing well in those three corners, and that meant that the gap has gone to 1.4 seconds, and we are having a little bit of trouble, and the gap has now been turned into 1.3 seconds, now 1.2, now heading into the SS. We're just trying to do as fast as possible, and we're seeing the Flores has fun, and we're opting to P7, and well, let's just trying to catch Berni, and meanwhile we're just trying to maintain that place and hope we can get more points other than 6 points. Unfortunately, in the next lap the gap has now increased to 2 seconds, and to make things worse, I overcooked my tires and I pressed the throttle too early that I spun exiting the stadium section, and that meant that I dropped down into P13, and to make things way worse, I didn't have DRS. I don't have DRS. Heading to lap 5, I'm DRS-less, and meanwhile the other drivers have DRS, so that means that I'm in a disadvantage, and Sandias trying to overtake us, and we're down into P14 heading into turn 1, but I decided to defend a little bit and decided to maintain my P13, and unfortunately he's not giving up. Now he has given up, and we're maintaining that P13. Meanwhile, hope we can overtake them, and well, if the penalties get applied, we're into P12 because Terro has a 3-second time penalty and he's less than 3 seconds ahead of me, so well, hope we can maintain that gap and overtake Rabbit and get P11 and maybe get into the points after that. Fortunately, I could catch Rabbit ending lap 6, and this means that I'm now close enough to get DRS as well as overtaking him in the main straight fairly easily, not deploying all of my ERS. Lap 7 and we're up into P11, and we're seeing that the Eddie has happened something, and they make contact, and Eddie has gone into the inside runoff area, and we're up into the points physically, maybe into P9 if Tero gets like less than 3 seconds ahead of me, and well, we're up into P10, and meanwhile we got another recording cut, and another cut we had was a corner cut, and unfortunately I couldn't maintain that gap with Tero, but fortunately there has been some yellow flags exiting the stadium section, and then into the SS. We're seeing that the ERL driver has crashed into the wall, and that means that the safety car has now deployed, and that's going to mean that we're going to box for medium tires, and hope we can maintain those mediums until the end of the race, ignoring the engineer's suggestions to stop another time for the other mediums. And well, that meant that we are going to get an advantage. Meanwhile, we're just trying to heat up our tires and get to the bunched outfield and wait until the safety car ends. So safety car is in this lap. We're just getting our tires pretty heated up, but unfortunately it won't be enough to get to our optimal temperature, barely at 80 degrees Celsius, and unfortunately we couldn't get a great relaunch, and we're in danger of being overtaken by Inquisidor, but I'll have a great straight line speed, and the gap between Inquisidor and myself has gone into half a second. And meanwhile, Cantu's AI is going a little bit slow, obviously, because, well, you know, the AI slow, well, set as slow, and Cantu has paused his match, and I decided to try to overtake him down the inside into turn 4, but I think I might get a penalty for weaving, but it doesn't matter because Cantu has been overtaken by myself into turn 6, and we're up into P9, maybe into P7 if the penalties get applied, and we're seeing our old rival of Elite League Racing Cup, Tamal. So, well, hope we can get a great fight with Tamal. And heading into the stadium section, Niki Lauda is out of the race, and he triggered another safety car. So I decided to go again for hard tires, but nah, man, I decided to not risk it and just stay out with the mediums. And oh, I forgot to. Well, I don't know if I was going to box for new hearts. I mean, used hearts, because I only had one set of hard tires, and it was which I used at the beginning of the race, and or if I was going for another set of mediums, but well, I think I was going for new mediums as it says in the MFD, and well, racing is paused by the safety car. Meanwhile, we're just heating up a little bit our medium tires, and let's not get our tires dropped into the cold temperature, for example like 76 degrees Celsius, 77 or even 75. And well, our field has been bunched up, and we're going to wait until the safety car ends. While we were heating up our medium tires heading into turn 4, well, we're just heating up our tires and waiting until the safety car ends. We're seeing that the AI will take us control, and that means that the options, the safety car has been turned on into broadcast. So, well, just a bit of context. I forgot to mention in the formation lab that Berni told me that I'm going to do the lobby for this race, and I decided to accept that offer. One of the settings I was putting, I think I forgot to turn to immersive instead of broadcast. So I've done a great mistake. That's not really good, but well, that means that the AI will heat up our tires for us, and maybe they'll heat up better than us, but I think it'll come at cost of our tire wear. So we're just waiting until the AI will take out control of us, and we're just trying to wait until the safety car ends, and it is ending now. Safety car is in this lap, and we're having control now. Fortunately, our tires are really heated up, thank you AI, but that shouldn't happen if I wasn't forgetting about the safety car settings. And well, safety car is about to end, and we're just waiting for the race to give us green flag. And meanwhile, we're just trying to prepare to get a great relaunch. Hope we can get that thing, but unfortunately, we're seeing that Jovan is trying to get us, and maybe we didn't get a great relaunch, and Jovan has overtaken us easily, heading into the main straight. Heading into turn 1, hope we can make a dive bomb weekend, but unfortunately, Cantu was approaching us, and I didn't want a 3 wide battle, and you know, 3 wide overtakes into turn 1 doesn't end well, and well, we're just hoping that I get some speed and overtake them, and we're seeing some battle for P5, I think so, and meanwhile we're seeing teammates battling into each other, and well, hope this doesn't end bad. Meanwhile, we're up into P8 because the penalties they have Terro and Jovan for now, and meanwhile we're just having a snap of oversteer. Mistake was a little bit, and oh, Jovan! My goodness me, that gave me a little bit of a scare, and almost crashed into him because he spun, and well, I tried to avoid him, and unfortunately that made me slow down a little bit, and Flores decided to not slip that opportunity and overtook me easily heading into the stadium section. So I'm down into P10 and hope we can overtake him into the main straight, deploying all of my ERS. Well, I decide to not deploy all of my ERS and wait until the next few laps. Meanwhile, we're into P8 still because Flores has an 8-second time penalty, so that means that my position still is in 8th place, or maybe into P7 because Johan has won, and that makes us bring up a place. And hope we can I don't know what to say. Hope we can overtake them and maybe get way more points than just 1 point or 4 points if the penalties get applied. But unfortunately, I got a 3-second time penalty because I ran wide into turn 8. So that means that I'm a bit angry. Now I'm going to be really aggressive, and I decided to go beast mode, and I am going to be really aggressive. I don't care how much of the tire I'll have or fuel will consume. I'm going to be aggressive and I'll overtake everyone. Let's go. And let's deploy all of my ERS, trying to overtake Flores. I decided to not do it because I'm pretty far away. That's pretty bad for us, and I wanted to overtake them. I needed to get some points. Heading into turn 1, I decided to go aggressively fast. Still not too fast, or else I would spin because I would have pressed the throttle too early. And fortunately, the gap has now decreased down into 2.5 seconds. And we're seeing that. Oh God, I don't know who were those drivers who get involved, but I knew that Tamal was one of them, but the other was one of our teammates, I think Tero, and they made contact into turn 4, and that resulted them spinning, and we're up into P9, and we're seeing that Tamal has gone a bit wide, and we're up into P8, and maybe into P6 if the penalties get applied. We have to be less than 3 seconds behind Tero in order to get his penalty affected, and well, we're just trying to be a bit fast, really fast into those corners and the straight, but not so fast in the straight because I need to conserve a little bit of my ERS. And we're now into lap 23 and the DRS is wide open. I decided to open the DRS and get a little bit of speed in the straights, and unfortunately that doesn't mean that I can overtake him because he's too far away from me. And we're seeing that there's battle for P5, and we're seeing that Struck has made contact with Tero, and that made that those drivers have gone too slow, that we have catch us a little bit. And heading into turn 4, can we see some carnage? And Struck has gone a little bit wide into turn 4 because he has been brake checked by Flores. I mean, he has got rear-ended. Brake check is another thing. And meanwhile, Flores paused the game and we overtook him, but unfortunately we were getting a little bit squished and I didn't want to corner cut, neither crash with him. And the RS is now deployed, but that doesn't work for us because we don't have lots of straight to have. And meanwhile, we need to wait until the next straight, which is going to be two corners, and wishing that Flores has now a 12-second time penalty. I mean, he has 12 seconds of penalties accumulated, and we're deploying all of my ERS. The ERS is now activated for us, and we're overtaking Flores easily because he's run out of ERS. And heading into turn 1, we overtook him completely, and I think we're now into P4 because Tero has 6 seconds of penalties applied, and we are 3 seconds behind him. Well, less than 3 seconds, I mean, but it could be P4 if Manogot is sent more than 3 seconds ahead of us. We need to reduce that gap and hope we can get P4 when the penalties get applied. Meanwhile, we need to be really fast in order to catch Tero and overtake him. as an excuse to say that he's slower than me and I needed to overtake him. Hope we can do that thing. Now into lap 25, I was trying to catch Tero. Now I catch him, so it was time to overtake him. I decided to try to overtake him into the stadium section, and I decided to go for a tap bomb down the inside, but Tero crashed into us, and we just spun, and it didn't go really well. And well, I'm trying to say that, yeah, I just got really blinded because I was just trying to overtake him immediately and not wait until the main straight. So yeah, I felt really bad for him, and fortunately I didn't have any damages, but we're dropping down into P10 and P11 respectively. I'm out of the points, and then I started trying to overtake us into turn 1. I decided to defend and brake late, and unfortunately I was stuck in traffic and I couldn't overtake any of those drivers and almost have a spin after having snap of oversteer. And we're seeing that Struck has left the race and the AI is controlling him, and that makes him slow down. And we're seeing that Manogod has spun, and we're now suddenly in P10 in the points, and maybe we'll get P9 after we overtake the now left Struck. And because he's ghosted, we are going to overtake him really easily, and we're now in 9th position. P8 if the if the penalties get applied. I would say no, because I thought he has a 3-second time penalty, but no, he has a 9-second time penalty. So yes, he will get his place affected because he's less than 6 seconds ahead of me, and in order to get his penalty not affected, he needs to be more than 6 seconds ahead of me. And remember that I have a 3-second time penalty, so 9 minus 3 equals 6, and the RS is now wide open, and I have little hope to try to overtake them in the straight, and maybe I can do this thing because we're pretty near them. But still I don't think so, because they will have DRS as well, so that's why we're stuck in traffic, because it's a DRS train and I didn't have a good exit in the last corner, so that means that I couldn't have chances to overtake him. So yeah, that's why I was stuck in traffic and I couldn't overtake them, and I was still maintaining that position. And yeah, I was a bit frustrated about that thing, and well, hope we can have another safety car. And well, if this doesn't happen, I'll be a little bit sad about that thing, and I would regret overtaking Tero in the stadium section instead of waiting until the main straight. But well, I have done those things, and well, I'm sure it's happened, and let's just move on. And we're seeing that Topito has spun, and the safety car has no deployed because Cantu is out of the race. And thank God the safety car has now deployed, because we can box for soft tires and we might get chances to overtake them and go full beast mode. And well, hope we can do this thing. And we're up into P7 when the penalties get applied, so hope we can get more places and maybe get into the top 5. Hope this happens. And well, we're just boxing, and hope we can get a nice pit stop for soft tires. And we're just pitting optimal turn in, and we accelerated really good. And well, although we didn't lose any places, at least we didn't even gain any places in the pit stop. I was going to say, well, I just said some nonsense, just ignore that phrase I've said in the exiting the pit lane. So after the AI took control of us and that period has now ended, well, it's going to end in 3 seconds. Safety car is in this lap 33, so after the safety car ends, we'll have a 3-lap sprint with our new soft tires. Well, I'll have those new softs. I don't think the other drivers will have those new softs because I think they have all used those 3 softs, or 4 if they choose the softer tire allocation, or 2 if they chose the harder tire allocation of these soft tires in the qualifying section, and they might have used those worn out soft tires, but I'm the exception maybe. But the safety car has now ended and I got a great launch compared to Tero, who has a terrible relaunch, and I tried to overtake them into turn 1, and I then referred to Jimmy and Flores, and meanwhile into turn 1, and we're seeing that Stark has spun us, and we're seeing that Marco has gone in a worst destination because he has gone into the wall in the inside runoff area, and we're down into P11. That's just pretty bad, and I was going really mad and going full beast mode, overtaking 2 drivers. No, I mean, I couldn't overtake Tupitu, and well, made a 3 wide into turn 4. That ended well for me, and I was trying to overtake Tupitu, but unfortunately I couldn't do that thing, and we're up into P10. We're making that comeback a little bit slowly, but we think that Topito has gone a little bit of a snap of oversteer in the SS, and we're trying to overtake him into the stadium section. We make a dive bomb, and this time we're just doing a little bit careful, and we're not just trying to force him wide, and I was just trying to go for that gap out. I couldn't go for that. Fortunately, I didn't end up spinning nor damaging my front wing, and I was deploying all of my ERS into the main straight. I was trying to overtake him. I was really mad about that safety car relaunch. I have run out of ERS unfortunately, but to make things a little bit better, I am overtaking Topito around the outside into turn 1, and well, we're now into P8. P7 if Manocot's penalties get applied, because he has 17 seconds of penalty accumulated. I don't know how he's done to make 17 seconds of penalties accumulated. I think he's cut the corners many times, and also he's gone too fast in the pit lane once. So pretty poor for him, but well, that happens if you cut too many corners and speed in the pit lane. And well, hope we can get that P7, or else we might stay in P8, because Rabbit is less than 3 seconds behind me, and he's still yet to receive a penalty. So if he doesn't have a penalty and is less than 3 seconds behind me, I'll still maintain P8. Meanwhile, we begin the final lap of the race. After having a bad race for us, we're just trying to be really fast to deploy all of our ERS we have. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot, and we're seeing the Flores is down into P6, so we're seeing that he still has 12 seconds of penalties accumulated, so that means that we can go up into P6 if we maintain that 3 seconds gap with Rabbit, but unfortunately we're not making that gap, and I don't think we can make that gap. And well, meanwhile we're just trying to maintain that gap with Manocot and Flores, because Berni, no chances still, because he doesn't have a penalty, and Berni is ahead of me, so I don't have chances to overtake him. And meanwhile Rabbit is still less than 3 seconds behind me, so that means that I won't get that P6. Meanwhile, Flores has now another 3 second time penalty, and the race is about to end. Jamal is going to cross the line in first place and sets the fastest lap, following by a TW driver, and we're seeing that Jamal has dropped down into 4th place because he has a 5 second time penalty about to serve. And well, Berni didn't have a penalty, so that meant that he's ascended to 3rd place. Good job for him. Meanwhile, let's head into the race results. So these are the race results. Jimmy won the race after all of these penalties get applied. Stark finished second, and Berni, although he finished in 6th position, he got ascended into 3rd place after those penalties get applied, and he didn't get any penalties. Meanwhile, Tamal finished 4th after crossing the line in 1st place, but he had a 5-second time penalty, and that was the reason why he got dropped down to 4th place after starting from pole position. Meanwhile, Inquisidor finished 5th. Rabbit finished 6th place after I couldn't maintain his 3-second gap behind me, and that meant that I dropped and ascended at the same time to 7th place. Sandia finished 8th. What a comeback for him, because he started last place and he got up 12 places, as well as Rabbit, who got also 12 places off because he started from 18th on the grid. Meanwhile, Marco finished 9th and Topito finished 10th, the last one who got the points. Meanwhile, outside of the points but inside the top 14 are Terro, Flores, Manugot, and Alan, who I think is the only one who got lapped because the other ones are DNF'd. And well, this is the race, and see you in the next race. Goodbye, and hope I can have that next race good results. So now, really this time, for real, goodbye.